Speaking of D.
I'm D!
For those of you who haven't seen this before,
I'm D!
the terrorists are trying a new tactic. Instead of putting bombs on planes, now they're fondling themselves on planes. That's right, a man from Delaware was arrested earlier this month when he was on a plane from Philadelphia to Denver and he was playing with himself underneath his blanket. Alright, I'm gonna be honest, I cannot pronounce this guy's name for the life of me, so we're just gonna call him by his last name, which I think is pronounced Nookella, or Nookella, N something, I don't know. So anyways, this guy's a computer programmer. He was on a Southwest Airlines flight from Philadelphia to Denver. You know those complimentary blankets that the stewardesses give you on the flight so that you're not too cold? Well, he thought it'd be a good idea to sit in his chair and put it over top of himself and play with himself while he was on this flight. Apparently the woman next to him didn't think it was a very good idea. I don't know exactly where she was in the plane, but to my understanding it was kind of like an aisle across sort of thing. I don't know. So anyways, she looks over at him and she notices that underneath his blanket there's a lot of movement going on around his groin area. In today's day and age, you might think that she would consider that this is a bomb, you know, some kind of terrorist act. But no, she sees all this movement in the groin area and automatically assumes, hey, this guy's playing with himself. Well, I say assume, but actually that's what he was doing. What makes this worse is she was sitting there watching him for a while. I guess she liked what she was seeing. So ultimately, she decides that she should just gather her belongings and move to another seat, because she really doesn't want to see this guy doing this. So when she's gathering her things, she looks over at him and they actually end up making eye contact. This guy didn't even try to play it off. As soon as they made eye contact, the guy looks at her and he goes, "You caught me," not even trying to play it off. I know that there are a lot of screwed up people in this world, but you would think they would be a little smarter about what they're doing, instead of just being so honest about it. Maybe he wanted her to know what he was doing. Maybe he just wasn't smart enough. So it makes you think, what in his mind was actually going to happen? If he had decided to make up something about what he was doing, would this whole thing have played out differently? Oh my gosh! Yes? What are you doing? Oh, I'm just making shadow puppets, but you can't see what I'm doing. Oh, you know, I thought that you were... Never mind. No, it's okay. It's a common misconception. It happens all the time. Maybe that would have been a little more clever. But what actually happened? Oh my gosh! What are you doing? You caught me. Yeah, I sure did. I know that I'm not the only one who's disgusted by this, so I really don't think that I have to go on too much more. Mr. Nookella faces 90 days in jail with a $5,000 fine. He's also been ordered to never fly again. At least I think it was never to fly again, but we'll see. Is that really enough of a sentence for this guy? It's to my understanding that he was ordered to never fly again. That's a little peace of mind for those of us who like to get on a plane and not see the guy next to us playing with himself. I wonder what they did with the sheet. Not only was he charged with indecent exposure, but he was also charged with lewd behavior on an aircraft. Are there really that many people out there right now who are on the aircraft doing stuff like this? The government has to come up with a special charge for this? I would think that indecent exposure was enough, or just lewd behavior in public. But lewd behavior on an aircraft? It sounds like this is a common occurrence for them. Lesson of the day. If you're brave enough to play with yourself on an airplane, if you get caught, make sure that you come up with something a little more clever than, "You caught me."